Okay, here we have a glass picture. Glass is typically one of the most challenging objects to shoot. You just get a lot of glare. The item doesn't often show up quite as much. So we're going to go through a couple techniques to see how we can make that item really show. Now you can see, just looking through the camera, that there's actually a lot of glare on the item. So one of the tips that we sometimes can use is to light it from the back. So we're going to move this around. So we're going to light it from behind, but we're going to use the bounce cards in front to reflect the light back on it. As you can see already, we don't have the big glare spot that we did. Let's take a photo and see what it looks like. Okay, here we have clear glass, the most challenging to shoot. I'm lowering the tripod to get a direct line with the product.
And here we're still using that backlight technique. And with the backlighting technique, you're not going to have just a pure white background that disappears like you would with the front light technique. It gets more of a gradient effect. But again, the point here is to really make your object pop. And in the case of a clear glass subject, the gradient backlight effect does that job.
Just tilt it back a little bit. It's looking pretty good. You can see the items well. Let's take a photo and see what that looks like. If you have a 2-second delay on your camera, that can really help the clarity of the items.
That's a great shot. One thing though that you can do to sometimes help when you're having trouble getting a clear glass shot is to use a dark bounce board instead of the white bounce boards. These were made just out of typical photo board, but it's a darker color, and so it reflects more of it does more of a dark reflection.
Let's see what that does to our shot. Okay, here we have another glass item. We're just going to experiment with it a little bit, take some photos. We switched to a Nikon D50, just your traditional digital SLR, just to try that as well. We're going to backlight it first, see what the pictures look like there, and then we'll switch the lamp around and shoot some pictures from the front. Line up the item, take a shot with it being backlit. See the item there. Okay, now we're gonna move the lamp so that we are lighting from the front. Not quite sure what a difference this will make, but it's fun to experiment. I'm gonna leave the bounce cards where they were. Let's take that photo. One other thing that we might want to try is turning off the ambient light and see how that affects it. Okay,